Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Marine X back at it again. Okay, listen, the importance of an automatic knife. I think it should be a part of your arsenal for a couple of reasons. You ever been on top of a ladder trying to do whatever? Hang Christmas lights, clean your gutters, maybe clean your windows or screens, and you go to manipulate a knife, no matter how well versed you are, the thumb studs, the flipper, whatever, a fuller, it can be a daunting task. Okay. I like that Worksharp, the people that we trust to keep a sharp edge on our knives, has once again dropped a new knife. This is on their RMX platform. This is called the Madron. And the thing about this knife is that they're really coming through and they're showing you the importance to details. This is a knife that comes in the box manual with a very simple process. You can switch this to an automatic. So if it's legal in your state or your country, wherever you live, you can now have an automatic knife, which I think is crazy beneficial. Why the hell would you want an automatic? I just named the reason: for precarious situations. You're holding onto a strap, you're holding onto a piece of fibrous material, you're in the middle of a work site or whatever. Having a knife that you can just stay focused on your task, open use, and then once you're done with that cutting task, simply use it to close it and put it away makes a lot of sense. Now, the Madron takes it to that next step. Now, we have heard of stuff that came from good old Chavez knives, the 229 Redemption. They also have an automatic. This one's an integral build as well. The big difference with the two is probably going to be the price. I don't know the final price of this Madron. This is releasing ahead of Blade Atlanta. Side note, I'll be at Blade Atlanta. Look for the guy that's 6'2" with dreadlocks and say what up if you see me. I'm thinking that there's a couple of key differences here. One, you cannot change this from automatic to manual. It is what it is. This one here, you get tired of the clip point, you can buy a different blade from their website. You want to change it to manual, you can change that out yourself. But they both give you the very peace of mind of just being one piece of metal. So this one here is one piece of aluminium. You don't have to worry about a screw backing itself out, and that can be crazy important when you're trying to work on something like, oh my God, my scales are beginning to fail me. Oh my God, the liners are beginning to not work correctly in my knife. You don't worry about that when you have just one solid piece of metal. And the details matter on this. I think they did a really good job with the chalky finish on the aluminium. I know it comes in multiple colors. I'm so glad they sent me the orange. This is not sponsored. They did send this out to me, and they're not expecting any content. But after carrying this along with my other automatic knives, it's starting to make sense why you should have one a part of your arsenal. The very first knife issued to me in the Marine Corps was literally an automatic knife. I have the Gerber. This is their Fast Tanto Auto 06. The reason they gave us automatic knives in the Marine Corps is so that we can do work tasks or escape out of a vehicle without having to manipulate a thumb stub, manipulate a flipper. We just take the safety off, we flip it out. We need to cut a seat belt, cut someone else's seat belt. You could be nervous, you could be sweaty. You also could be wearing thick ass gloves, which is what we wore in the Marine Corps a lot. That's why they issued us the Gerber, the S30V. This one came with big beefy metal scales, steel scales, all that type of stuff. Even if you want to get something a little bit smaller, you don't want to go full just macho man, you can still here get the little immunity here. This is the full immunity because of the automatic, or maybe it's the partial, I don't know. It's the automatic version of this knife, of the immunity knife. This is the smaller version. I like it. Still automatic. But you can still use this, and this might be legal in your state because it's just a little bit smaller than carrying any of these bigger knives, right? So you got the Madron, which is going to give you a blade shape that you may like, and a blade length that you may like. But if you get something like this big old monster right here from Gerber, you know, this might not be legal in your state. So just a number of reasons why I think it makes sense for you to have an automatic. Now, zooming back in specifically on the Madron, I like this knife a lot, but I will tell you a couple of complaints I have. A little bit of blade play, not blade play because of the scales. Just, I put this together and taken it apart several times. Okay, and I still get a little bit, not anything that affects me when I'm actually using the knife, but it is something that you should just concern yourself, just keep in mind, because I don't have any of that when it comes to this Chavez knife, because this is slightly built into the actual scales themselves. Okay, so that's something that you may want to think about. This is a knife for tinkerers. If you don't like to tinker, this is not a knife for you, because to get it automatic, you have to do that initial swap. And when I when I got this knife initially, it came manual, and I did not like it because to open it, you had to push the button and pull the blade out. And so I'm imagining they're going to come with some type of thumb stud solution. It looks like they will in the future, because I see these little divots right here, and I see what they've done on their other RMX platforms. But out the box, I'm not seeing a solution if it's in manual to where it is more convenient to open it than making this thing into an automatic. And then on top of that, you know, one thing that I will say is that I am not the biggest fan of a clip point. I know it's really good for hunting purposes. It's really good for stabbing and pulling back towards yourself. But I really like a good drop point. I'm a big old fan of like a Warney or a reverse Tonto or Tonto. I just like, you know, for me, I like the blade shape more aesthetically, and I like those blade shapes more for usefulness. But that is just me. The Madron, is it something that's going to be worth it? I'll link it up down below. It should be dropping, I guess, at Blade Atlanta, before Blade Atlanta, right after Blade Atlanta. I'm not really sure, but I thought I would show it to you guys and give you my thoughts on it, because I have been carrying this thing for 2 weeks. First time stopping by, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you a part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.